Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of TED Excellence, the show in which we find out that you have the power to change society. And I come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a Pepper Jack, and all of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Thursday. Tarantula Thursday. I don't know. I tried to think of a T word that I hadn't used before. First one that came to mind. What does that say about me? I don't know. Rorschach test of vocabulary. Hope you're all doing well this evening. Hope you all have had a good week so far and have a good rest of the weekend ahead of you. Oh, tonight is the night when to become one. Or we look at a video about how to make a equitable, diverse, inclusive society and how it begins with you. Me? Yes, me. You? Yes, you. How? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But who is joining me in this adventure of self-discovery this evening? Why, that would be Texas Attorney General Secret Agent, Zeke Weiss, Keeverdam, and chat has locked for some reason. I can't scroll up. Mike R, Pie Guy 07, Noah Asensio, Jaeger Pony, hello. Keeverdam, Tall Person, Non-Vitae Rex, Tack Alpaca, Jeannie Melquist. Who else is here? Brittany Holland, Drakenkonig der Wolf. Drakenkonig. Jawohl. A2P, Absolutely Degenerate, Shell D, Peter Silak, Hades 313, Frosted Glass, Robert Pincus, Jack Frost 7548, Kyle Mack, Bridget, and Emperor WR Costin. Good evening to you all. Yes, so we have what's the full title of this again? It's all A More Equitable and Inclusive Society Begins with You, or me, or we. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out, because I love me some equitable, diverse, inclusion stuff. It's my favorite. Let's see. Tonight's bingo card is bingo card C. C as in, well, it was kind of an inside joke tonight. The bingo card poll on Twitter was, your favorite kind of society is, and I listed off agricultural, hunting and gathering, and midnight. As in, the Midnight Society from Are You Afraid of the Dark? And there was a tie between hunting and gathering and midnight. And so I just sort of flipped a coin in my head and decided on card C. So there you go. Let's see what else here before it disappears. I am pinning to the top of the chat window from Keeverdam. Thank you, Keeverdam. Links to the GoFundMes for Shady Grin's friends and his kitten. So if you can take a look at those when you have the opportunity, and if you happen to have a couple of extra bucks to spare to help them along in their difficulties, please consider doing so. Appreciate it. But with all that being said, let's get into it. So this one clocks in at just under 15 minutes. So it's like a regulation TEDx talk. And what will we learn? I don't know. Hopefully how to make a better society. How do we make a better society that is both equitable and inclusive? I'm ready to find out. Are you? I'll start off with a few seconds for a sound test. You guys tell me if you can hear it, and then we will proceed.
2020.
2020. It's a great show on ABC. Or it was. Was it Hugh Downs? Was it Hugh Downs that was running 2020 for all that time? And Babwa Wawa? Was it Babwa Wawa? Or am I getting my news magazine shows mixed up? Lexi Mads is here. Lexi Mads can't hear it. Uh-oh, you can't hear it? Oh, loud and clear, says Texas Attorney General of Securities. Well, Lexi, you must not have your volume up or something, because everybody else heard it. Let's see. And who else is here that I've missed in the meantime? Pretty Holly, Elementity. I don't know. Elementity. All right. So 2020, and this is from Dana N. Anderson at Oak Park Women. Oh, okay. I wonder what the Oak Park men are doing. probably watching football.
The year that changed us all.
Yes, 2020, the year that changed us all.
A whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
The year had barely taken off.
Yes.
Before this virus began to invade and infect the planet.
Yes.
We became obsessed with daily press conferences about the exponential growth of cases.
I don't know if I'd say I became obsessed about it. I think it was unavoidable because there really wasn't anything else on the news at that time. But okay, we as a society did so, I suppose, because we didn't know any better at that time.
Then quarantine.
Yes.
Remember when we thought that was going to last about 2 weeks?
Yeah, why did I think that? Gosh, I can't imagine why we all thought that. Maybe because we were told that. We were assured that. But hey, the good old days. Yeah.
Then came isolation.
Yes.
Grief. Stillness.
And it's still going on for me after a fashion.
Being with yourself.
Oh, yes. Every day.
And just when we were almost comfortable being with ourselves.
I've had a lifetime to consider that notion, and I don't know. Am I comfortable with myself? It's a lifelong endeavor, I suppose.
Bam.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. What happened?
A black man took a knee to the neck and had the life sucked out of him.
Okay. I'll admit, I didn't know that that's where that was going.
And we watched it on TV.
Yeah.
And countless times on social media.
Yeah.
8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Back to the whirlwind.
Uh-huh.
Rising from the intense summer heat was an emotional tension so thick you could cut it, sparking constant breaking news alerts.
And several fires. But I have a feeling we're not going to talk about that part, are we?
Showing us the boiling point of that tension.
Oh, spark, boiling point. A lot of heat going on here. Uh-huh.
The pressure-pushing protests, the cries and chants.
The pressure-pushing protests. I love me some alliteration. There was some other things going on there. And if you didn't notice, it really had nothing to do with George Floyd.
Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, no justice, no peace.
Mm-hmm.
Increasingly noisy political pundits, fanning Facebook arguments.
Yes. It was only the political pundits that were doing that. Like, what?
The sparkle and crunch of broken glass, the crash and burn of looting.
The sparkle and crunch of broken glass. Oh, I like that. I like that. That hits my English major nerve just a little bit. I appreciate that.
Inconvenient street closures and a ghost town downtown, but trucks and tankers on the block and on the ready.
Ooh, what?
Bridges up.
Bridges up.
Statues down.
Aha. Yeah. All right. So and your assessment of all of this is what?
Boom.
Boom.
Loud firecrackers all day.
Yeah, firecrackers. That's what those were. Just firecrackers. That's all. Those pops and explosions going off in the distance. Yeah, it's nothing.
All night.
Yeah.
Is that what those explosions even were?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you're in on the joke too.
Then there were the corporations pinging your email inbox.
Yes.
Every few emails was a racial equity statement.
Yeah, gosh. And that was so unique to that event. I had never seen anything like that before. It was all just in 2020 where we saw virtue signaling from corporations taking advantage of the scandal of the moment to proclaim loudly their high-minded nature of things. Yeah, okay, it was just then. Yeah,
Ping,
yeah.
Great intentions, more often than not, performative in action. Ping.
Give me a ping facility, one ping only, please.
New pledge. Ping! More Black people in stock photography, more interracial couples in advertisements.
Would you be happier if none of those things were taking place? I don't know. Thank you, A2P. A day of onions, sleet, and other things. Stormfront on the horizon. Thanks for the stream, Scribe. Thank you, A2P. Appreciate it. I hope it's not Stormfront. Didn't those guys get shut down? I thought they did. Oh, well.
Ping.
Yes, ping.
And there was a very special sound for Black women.
Oh.
The cacophony of white guilt checking in.
A special sound for Black women. The cacophony of white guilt checking in. Okay, I think this is a good time to go to the bingo card real quick, at least to review what we're looking at here. Okay, so let's look here and make sure I've got my thing set up. Yes, I want the circle, I want the line, and I want the color green. Okay, so plays victim. We're still in sort of spoken word poetry territory, so she hasn't really talked about herself yet. Leaves out vital context. We haven't gotten to the point where she's provided us anything that we need to examine, really. Weightless example, none yet. Anecdote that probably never happened, not yet. Benevolent condescension, I have a feeling we'll get there. Self-vilification or wretchedness, I would be amazed. Feminism, well, we're starting out with Black women being a particular target, so we'll see. Childhood or family anecdote, she hasn't talked about herself yet. Privilege, not yet. Sales pitch for product or service, not yet. Microaggressions, unconscious bias, not yet. Patriarchy, no. Wage gap, no. Mind reading assumes motives, not clearly, but I will think we'll probably get there. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, not as of yet. Word salad, no. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, given the title of the presentation, I'd be surprised if she doesn't say it at some point. But recall, the title of the presentation on the website isn't necessarily going to reflect anything within the presentation itself, as I have seen many times, so that doesn't count. Marginalization. I don't think she said that yet, but we might get there. Contradicts own point or argument. Don't know what it is yet. Systemic institutional. I don't think she's said the words, but we might get there. A list, not yet. And again, it has to be a formal list, like 1, 2, 3, or I have 5 steps, that kind of thing. Unless there's some overriding example. White supremacy, implied, but we may get there. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason. Not yet. And collectivize his own demographic. Yes. With Black women, etc. So circling that one. And free space, because we'll get there eventually. All right, so only 2 minutes in, but only 2 circled. Free space and collectivize his own demographic. Keep your ears open, and we go for it.
It sounded like this.
Yes.
Hey, Dana. I know you are flooded with DMs from white people, so I'll keep this succinct. Followed by a 4-page letter via text, followed up by, this is so-and-so, by the way. And random pics from a protest.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we have in here. Thank you, Point Curation. Just got here, watching at 2 times speed until I catch up. Well, I hope it goes really fast for you. No, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I don't have my auctioneer voice going. Okay, well, you'll get there eventually. Thank you, Point. Okay, so in a atmosphere of, let's say, racial reckoning, as I've heard it said many times, you became a subject of attention and apology. Okay, and this was a heavy burden for you, I take it?
Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
Today was so powerful. I'm sure it was. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Of painfully explicit body camera footage created a ripple effect that caused everyone in this country to become completely aware of how utterly uncomfortable it is to live in a world that doesn't feel just, equitable, and inclusive.
Oh, is that what it did? That's what it did. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if you say so. Let's see. Mind reading assumes motives. Circling that one. Okay, well, then tell us, what are we to do with this information? Why are we here? What are we supposed to be talking about?
In the wave of mostly performative emails.
Mostly performative. Oh, so everybody who emailed you was insincere. Okay, all right. How did you divine that?
From brands, orgs, and corporations.
Oh, okay. Well, now that I'll grant you that one.
I opened one from my friend's agency.
Your friend's agency. Okay.
I thought the email was well written. Authentic among so many others that weren't.
Why?
And so I replied with a brief, nicely done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, that opened the door for her. Hey, girl. First of all, I'm just checking in on you. Second, and here we go with an ask. She was on a deadline with her publisher and had about a hot 10 days to submit her final manuscript. There was some content she wanted me to read, as she thought that in light of the current climate, it may be tone deaf. I'm already ripe with annoyance from the check-in.
Because she wanted your opinion that in a climate of racial reckoning, she was, I don't know, assenting to effectively what it sounds like your complaint is. I mean, if the complaint is that we're not in an inclusive society and she's asking you for your input, she's trying to improve her own work with someone who we're constantly told over and over again possesses some secret wisdom that the, white, fragile people don't possess, this annoys you. Okay, well, would you rather have her steam ahead without even asking any questions? Without looking for other input from you or, anyone else? Oh, okay.
But I'm even more annoyed because this should be someone's job at that publishing house, right?
To ask for information and do research. Yeah, if she's the author, then maybe that was her job.
I told her, frankly, I'm tired of white women checking in on me.
Oh, well, okay. So no one will ever ask about you again. You are self-sufficient. You need no attention, no help. And if you are, that's great. And I mean that sincerely. That's great. It's probably a lousy thing to have people assume you need help because of what you look like, right? I mean, at least on that point, I am on her side. It's a pretty lousy thing to make assumptions of the quality of someone's life or the quality of their thinking or the quality of their, I don't know, their condition, just based on what they look like. I mean, that is an unfair perspective to take, and I think a harmful one in the long run. If that's what she means, then I'm on board. Tell me about what all white people do again.
I need y'all to go talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, who's y'all?
Then I pick up the phone and I call my big sister, Michelle, and I tell her how I'm starting to lose my mind.
Oh, all these people giving me all this attention.
And feeling overwhelmed by all of these white women expecting me to carry their emotional labor.
Oh, gosh. And someone's forcing you to open those emails. Oh!
The guilty texts and all the money they're suddenly going to donate to whatever cause their so-called progressive friend posted on Facebook in the spirit of self-proclaimed allyship.
Well, I'm not going to argue that a lot of the things people did and are doing and have been doing for years now are empty virtue signals. That I'm on board with right there. Okay. But this has been going on for a long time. This wasn't just a 2020 thing. But you're annoyed by it. Well, I guess you and I are in the same boat there. I'm annoyed by it too. It feels very empty. It feels very reactionary. It feels very insincere, let's say, or driven entirely by fear and or guilt. Now, where could that fear and or guilt be coming from? Why would people feel so sensitive to the point where they feel like there's something they need to apologize for? Why would they think that? Who could possibly be categorizing something about the way they are as something that is inherently flawed? I can't imagine where that thought may be coming from.
Michelle calmly told me, well, I'm not tired of it.
Oh.
I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
This moment? Unlike all the other moments in the last, at least as far as my little pocket world is concerned of with YouTube, the last like 5 or 6 years, really? Nothing else has occurred like this moment? Okay.
And just like that, something shifted.
Oh.
I saw myself.
Yes.
The pain and trauma from years of racial bullying growing up in the Chicago burbs. The chip on my shoulder I was carrying.
Yeah.
That day, that very moment.
Yes.
Created an energetic shift in me.
Okay.
That chip cracked. I went back to that email exchange.
Yes.
And I committed myself to helping my friend with her manuscript concerns. And I sure did find some problematic areas.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Yeah. Okay.
We set up a Zoom to discuss my notes.
Yes.
And she was so genuinely grateful. And I felt so at peace with my decision to put aside my anger.
Oh, yeah. It's good that you're pleased with yourself. Was your friend still a white woman riddled with guilt?
From there on, I made the conscious choice to use my voice.
Oh, because prior to this, I'm sure you were nothing but silent, right?
I went back to my friend and I asked her, hey girl, now what can you do for me?
Of course. Yeah. What can she do for you?
How can we use her platform to amplify my voice?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe when she asked you for your input before going to publish? I don't know. Now that you've done something for me, right? Now that you've allowed me to insert myself into your work, right? That you asked me politely and I dismissed you because I was so full of myself. Well, now let's turn it around where you're going to help me. Oh, how can you use her platform? Why don't you write something and find an agency? And okay, so you're going to use your friend to okay.
She put me on her very popular podcast.
Oh.
And we spent an hour talking about equity and inclusion in the most candid way.
Oh, okay.
We both received so many messages from her followers.
Were they desirable messages? I mean, were they of the right skin tone?
About how much that conversation moved them.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got a siren going off in the background. While I'm doing that, or while that's going on, let's go back to the card real quick. Plays victim. Yep. Leaves out vital context. We haven't been given quite an example or something yet that I can think of. Weightless example. Similarly, not yet. Anecdote that probably never happened. I can believe all of these things happen so far because they are all effectively very self-serving Yeah. Benevolent condescension. Yeah. To her friends and her audience and everything else. Self-vilification or wretchedness. No. Feminism. I mean, she's focusing particularly on women, but I haven't heard anything particularly feminist yet, but maybe we'll get there. Childhood or family anecdote. She talked about her sister, calling up her big sister, so circle on that one. Privilege. Did she say privilege? Oh, I'm blanking now. Maybe she did. Did she say white privilege? I can't remember. Sales pitch for product or service. Well, not for her own yet. She hasn't named anything. She talked about a book or a publication and a podcast, but not yet. Microaggressions and conscious bias. Not specifically, no. Patriarchy, no. Wage gap, no. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, no. Word salad, no. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, yes. Inclusive society, etc. Marginalized, marginalization, no. Contradicts on point or argument. Not quite sure what her argument is yet, per se. Systemic, institutional, not yet. A list, not really. White supremacy, no. Makes them up race, sex, etc. No. Okay, so far we have plays victim, benevolent condescension, childhood or family anecdote, free space, mind reading assumes motives, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and collectivizes own demographic.
That's what this is about, y'all.
Oh, okay.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is not some government, corporate, or municipal burden.
It could have fooled me because they keep, appointing officers to solve the problem. Because not enough diversity, not enough equity, not enough inclusion. And it happens at all levels, corporate, government, elsewise. So it could have fooled me.
Creating a more inclusive culture begins with us, me.
Oh, it begins with you. Okay. Well, so were all your comments earlier about the inherent, insipid, and annoying white women? Are you taking that back now? Instead of categorizing people on the basis of skin color, you're going to be, setting aside that barrier, that differential, and bringing more people in on the basis of who they are and not what they are? Is that... Was everything that preambled all of this just like, that's how I used to be and I've become more enlightened since then?
You.
Me?
We?
By Yevgeny Zamyatin?
You may be thinking, well, what do you mean, Dana?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not a CEO or I'm not in a position of power.
Yeah.
I punch in and punch out.
Yeah.
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Uh-huh.
No.
Oh, no. I'm not?
You are a stone waiting to cause a ripple effect.
I'm a stone? My papa was a rolling stone. Not literally.
Your energy alone has an impact.
Oh, okay.
It isn't so hard.
Okay.
This is inside of us.
This? What is this? And what do I do? I want to be a good person too. What can I do to make a ripple effect?
But I know.
What?
We're all afraid to make mistakes.
I don't know that I'm afraid to make mistakes. I think mistakes are just sort of a inevitable part of being alive. I think I accept that I will make mistakes. I'm not fond of making mistakes, mind you. But I don't know if at this point in my life, I don't know if I fear mistakes as much. But I guess that's a person-to-person thing.
To say or do the wrong thing.
Say or do the wrong thing. Well, it all depends on the context, I suppose.
I saw a few folks back straighten up when I talked about those overwhelming text check-ins.
Okay, they muted the sound there. Did you hear that? It suddenly blanked out. That's not me. So I don't know if they're like cutting out laughing or extraneous noise or something. That was weird.
Up when I talked about those overwhelming text check-ins. Inclusivity.
They're muting the audience reaction? Why? That was bizarre. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep dwelling on this, but that was just, I've never seen that in a TEDx before, where they're going to mute the audience reaction. That's half of the underlying affirmation of the speaker.
Text check-ins. Inclusivity can look like people of a variety of backgrounds, beliefs, experiences, and opinions.
Backgrounds. Uh-huh.
Allowing each other to be ourselves.
Allowing each other to be ourselves. Uh-huh. And yet you had a real low opinion of a particular demographic of people not too long ago.
And in being ourselves, there may be times when our limitations, unconscious bias, or
unconscious bias. Unconscious bias. Up on the board. Circling unconscious bias. Okay.
Or just plain ignorance might show up.
Like, do you possess this potential fault as well? I mean, it's not just other people, right? You also have this pitfall within you.
When this happens, this inclusive space is an opening for growth for all.
Okay, well, so now you're going to tell us, right, that you have moved on from assessing quote unquote white women as an annoyance, right? That the white women are a particular burden to bear by black women, right? You're not going to like monolith people anymore, correct? You're going to evolve and move on from that kind of thinking, right?
The individuals in the collective feel safe calling someone out on our missteps, me and my author friend. And those who stumble feel empowered by our peers' sharing and redirection.
Oh, okay. Well, collective. What missteps did your friend call you out on? What criticism or critique were you happy to accept from your friend in a productive manner? I mean, if it is about an equitable sharing of ideas and opinions and so on, and everybody can feel free to be themselves, what have you learned? How have you changed in this process?
Let me frame this all up in a different way.
Okay.
We all like a little structure and direction, right?
Right. Yes. Structure, direction, TEDx. Yes.
I'm a creative, so I need lots of structure.
Oh, well, I'm a creative too. I made up this whole show.
I build what I call take action statements.
Oh, okay.
I've created one called the 4 A's.
Oh, a list, an actual list. Oh my gosh, a list. And is that a new buzzword, buzz phrase? Take action statements. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. Here, let me back up a little bit because I think I might have cut her off a little bit there.
Sure. I build what I call take action statements.
Tasks.
I've created one called the 4 A's. Assess.
Yes.
Access. Arrive. Advocate.
Okay, well here's a thought. If you add like if this is a program, all you have to do is add the word kit at the end of it. Take action statement kit. Task. I just improved the branding of this by 1,000,000%. Right? You can send this to people like a little package, a little, a kit. Here is your take action statement kit. Task. Oh boy, I'm a creative.
Assess.
Yes.
Take inventory of your blessings, privilege, power.
Oh, privilege. Privilege is on the board, circling privilege. Okay, how do I assess my privilege? How do I assess my power? By what metric do I assess these things?
Take inventory of your blessings, privilege, power.
Yes.
Normalize acknowledging where you have privilege that can positively impact others.
How do I do this? Like how do I assess what amounts to a privilege? What does that mean exactly? Let's see. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Let's see if she says it again. Let's see if she keeps dwelling on that.
I have privilege.
Okay.
Oh, y'all, there ain't just white privilege.
Oh, there's not? Well, I could have fooled me.
There's all kinds of privilege.
Oh, okay. Like what? What privilege do you possess? I'm sure you do. In fact, I'm almost positive you do. But tell me.
Even pretty privilege.
Do you possess that?
I don't fear public speaking.
I can tell.
I use my voice all the time.
I thought that you didn't have the ability to use your voice until your friend gave you the platform for your voice.
I'm commercially attractive, well-spoken, and
oh well, don't think too highly of yourself, my dear. No, sorry. Don't don't undercut yourself. I'm sorry.
Socially acceptable.
Are you? Is that how you see yourself? Going around dissing on people because of their skin color? I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of society you travel in. I'm sure there's a lot out there who wouldn't mind that or don't mind that. So if you say so.
I am a Black woman who has the privilege of being heard.
Right. Okay. You're very special. You're very, very special. Yes, I get it. But you're also reflective of victimhood. No, I get that too. Yeah.
What's your advantage in life?
Parents who loved me, I suppose. You know, good role models. An effervescent quality to my attitude in life. I might be embellishing that a bit.
In what spaces are you seen and heard?
Cyberspace.
What privilege will you uncover when you take the time to assess?
I'm thankful for the things that I've been able to build for myself and that I've been supported in doing in life. I don't know what should I be doing with whatever my privileges are? What is the better way for me to behave in order to create a more equitable and inclusive society? Give me an example of how you are using your privileges to achieve this, and then maybe I'll have some idea. Give me a concrete example.
I've gotten this down to a daily practice now.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
In my gratitude journal,
yes,
I take stock of my gifts and blessings.
I can believe it.
And I finish by writing down, I deserve this.
I deserve this. I deserve this. Aha.
And there's more where this came from.
Okay. I deserve this. I didn't earn this. I didn't work for this. I don't have this because of sacrifice or, rational thinking about my life or making good decisions. I deserve this. Okay. All right. Is that an attitude that you think everybody should have about their privilege?
Every day.
Okay.
It's a perspective shaper.
Oh, yeah.
Get used to seeing and giving thanks for your privilege.
Giving thanks for my privilege. Okay.
Then don't be stingy.
Oh.
Get used to sharing it.
Oh, okay. How do you share your privilege? How do you so magnanimously share your privilege?
Second A. Access.
Yes.
Access the parts of yourself that can benefit from doing more work.
Like?
Biases you're afraid to admit. Fear of speaking up before your peers. Notice what's holding you back from using your power to help others. Let those limiting beliefs go.
Okay. I mean, taken all by itself, perhaps. Do you have an example? Do you have a personal example?
Think about my moment with my sister, Michelle.
Okay. I'm thinking.
Hearing the words, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life, shifted me from clinging to the comfort of my hurts and trauma to allowing my anger to fuel purpose-driven conversations.
Word salad. Purpose-driven. Boy, my sister saying, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh, Lord. Yeah. As soon as that happened, you were given permission to have anger-fueled, purpose-driven conversations. At no time prior to that did you have any inspiration to speak your mind, to tell people what you thought. Only after your sister said that thing did the walls suddenly come crumbling down on your self-limitation. Okay.
Who do you want to be?
I want to be an airborne ranger. No.
You want to be like the bitter Dana with the chip on her shoulder, anchoring herself down?
See, I'm not getting a whole lot of sense that the needle has moved all that much with our speaker from how she described her attitude prior to this magical moment and how she's presenting herself here in this moment. But maybe that's just me.
Or do you want to be the better Dana?
The better Dana.
That hears that inspiration, the words, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life, and lifts off into her power.
So, you've never heard In the Air Tonight. I mean, that's all you needed to hear to have the walls come from, or did it have to come from your sister? I'm going to back up a second because I want to make sure I don't miss the context here.
With the chip on her shoulder, anchoring herself down?
Uh-huh.
Or do you want to be the better Dana?
Yes.
That hears that inspiration, the words, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life, and lifts off into her power.
Mm-hmm. Lifts off into her power. The better Dana. Okay. How have you used your privilege to help others? You don't have to name names, but I mean, like, who is better off now? Or how would you imagine someone is better off now in the ways in which you've used your power? What parts of yourself have you reassessed insofar as biases and other things that you now are willing to let go of? I mean, you're saying these things, but I haven't yet heard how you are living these things, except that you're just better now than you were beforehand.
Third.
I'm circling leaves out vital context because after 2 A's, I still haven't heard how she's improved or how she's practiced what she's preached. So I'm circling leaves out vital context.
Arrive. Show up each day as someone ready to be of service.
Oh, okay. Who are you in service to?
Decide who you want to be at home, at work, in your community.
Uh-huh.
Then consciously show up as that human being.
That's a very low bar.
Even as a stay-at-home parent, you have an advantage.
Oh, okay.
You're up close and personal with the school. That's power.
Oh, not if the school has anything to say with it anymore. A parent up close and personal with a school? Have you listened to teachers over the last 5 or 6 years alone? No, sorry. And I don't fault you for that. Maybe you actually believe that to be true, but oh man, I got news for you.
Use that for the good of the community at large, too.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Can you see an opportunity to influence activities, recommended reading lists?
What do you do? How do you practice this? Right? I mean, how do you show up? Why aren't you telling us how you have changed? You did none of these things prior to your sister's conversation or your conversation with your sister. Prior to that moment, the moment that she'd been waiting her whole life for, which I don't think we ever exactly had explained why that was so important to her or what that meant. But either way, prior to that, you did none of these things at all.
Mystery readers who reflect more diversity.
Whoa, what? Wait, what?
Community at large, too.
Yeah.
Can you see an opportunity to influence activities, recommended reading lists? Mystery readers who reflect more diversity.
Mystery readers who reflect more diversity. What?
Show up in whatever ways you can, because all of our little ways add up to a big collective change.
How do you show up? Why are you being so reticent to give examples in practice from your own life? I honestly confused, because I would think that that'd be the first thing you'd want to do, is to tell people, again, and I say this now almost every TEDx, compare and contrast. You were this way before, but now you are this way insofar as following your own steps. Why are we not hearing about the transition, the development, the better Dana? I can't assess the better Dana until I hear about the less better Dana.
Final A.
Yeah, okay.
Advocate.
Uh-huh.
Be the voice. Be the decision maker who naturally leaves a legacy of DEI.
Naturally leaves a legacy of DEI. Okay. Naturally. Okay. How?
Make that connection between your power, remember the first A.
Yeah, I know. I remember the first day. You didn't really tell us, okay, but my power and my privilege. Okay. Something that I deserve, right? But that I didn't earn, because privilege is not an earned thing necessarily. I mean, it can derive from something you've earned, but okay. Anyway, okay, so the power, right? Okay, my power.
And how to proactively use your privilege. Stick with it.
I thought that was the first A. No, wait, that was assess, right? Okay. And then access, right? Assess, access, arrive. Okay, so okay, now this is how I'm going to use it. Okay, all right. Well, maybe those are all the prep. Okay, so all right. How do you use your pretty privilege as an example to help others?
Consistently arrive.
Oh, I consistently. Okay, there's a very dirty joke in there that I was about to sort of allude to, but I don't need to now, because all of you dirty-minded people out there have just completed it for me. I have that much control over your minds.
Don't wait to react to a tragic event.
Well, your sister sure did. Thank you, Chicago Mike. When is she going to ask me to be the ball? Oh, yeah. Oh, God, the ball. Oh, I haven't heard that in so long. Oh. Wow, that is like Anita Sarkeesian distant past kind of thing. Oh, man. Nice.
Proactive advocacy?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Like what?
Performative acts? No.
Well, give me the difference, okay? You seem to be able to detect one from the other. So what constitutes a genuine act of advocacy as compared to a performative act of advocacy? What is the difference? I mean, don't get me wrong. Some things, insofar as the sincerity radar scale, are easy to see and easy to detect. But give me an example. Tell me what it is I should be doing and what I should not be doing. An active example. Please?
Why?
Why? I don't know. Why?
Operating in a performative nature
Describe a performative nature. What does that mean? Thank you, Point Curation. All of this is religious talk, LOL. Well, in the absence of any specificity, I have to take it on faith, yes, that I have any idea of what she's talking about. So in that sense, sure. Thank you again, Chicago Mike. It was a Caddyshack reference. I thought it was a reference to in the game of patriarchy, women are the ball or something like that. But hey, being able to make that connection, being able to fill in that blank all by myself with sort of, referential creativity and pop culture, I'm sure that's a privilege of a kind, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Why? What were we asking again?
Proactive advocacy?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Performative acts? No.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Why?
Operating in a performative nature
Yes.
builds only transactional relationships and temporary awareness.
Transactional relationships, you say? Shall we all take a moment and step way back into the annals of time of about maybe 10 minutes ago, where our speaker, after having been asked by her friend for her input in something that she was writing, due to her fear of getting it wrong or wanting to have an accurate portrayal of whatever it was she was doing. After that, what did our speaker say? Do we all recall what immediately our speaker asked? What can you do for me? How can you use your platform to get my voice out there? Yes, everyone. Do not consider and do not enact transactional relationships. So says our speaker. That is performative, and that is wrong.
Let's build a lasting impact.
Mm-hmm.
There's that ripple effect.
Is it? Can you give us one example of something you have done in following your own steps? I'll take one. I mean, there should be at least 4 examples, right? For each A in your TAS. There should be at least 4 examples you could give us. You haven't, but there should be. That at least I can then assess the effectiveness of this philosophy, or at least how it applies to you, how you apply it to yourself, and consequently, I would imagine you would think other people would apply it to themselves. Why are you not giving us some examples of your own actions, aside from asking others to do things for you?
That's what I want to leave you with.
Okay.
The idea that this equity and inclusion game is a personal choice. It's not up to anyone else to decide but you.
Really? Really? Why did you need your friend's platform? And if it's nobody else's ability to decide but you, what? Everything about your story so far has required someone else to intervene on your behalf. You didn't know what to do until you talked with your sister. You didn't have the opportunity to get your voice out there until you solicited your friend for her assistance.
Show up.
How? What does that mean?
Trust me.
I can't. You haven't made yourself a credible narrator so far. You haven't told us anything.
It's worth it.
Why? Why is it worth it? What is the payoff? What have you done, and what has been the result? I'm willing to believe that you have done something with your privilege, with shedding off your bias. I'm willing to believe that those things have happened. at least insofar as you define them, but you haven't defined them, and you haven't told us what the difference has been, how your life was before and what your life is now. At first, you saw white women as an annoyance, and then you saw them as an opportunity. That is the only change I have seen dictated to me thus far. That white women checking in on you annoyed you, and then white women checking in on you was an opportunity. That's the only shift of perspective you have given us thus far. The only one from the before Dana and the better Dana. Is that it?
So,
a needle pulling thread.
Get started with those 4 A's.
How? What? Good Lord.
Assess. Tap into your gifts and write them down.
Tap into my gifts and write them down. Okay.
Access. Dig in and clean up whatever's holding you back.
Holding me back from what? Holding me back from doing what?
Arrive. Make each day a day of showing up and being intentional about it.
What does that mean? If I show up, I intended to show up, right? I wasn't kidnapped or something. What?
Advocate. Speak up.
About what?
Be the change you want to see in your family, community, and world.
I guess I am trying. What?
Raise the awareness of inclusivity.
What is inclusivity in this context? What do you mean? I mean, so far I've heard very little, but having a very mercenary outlook on the people in your life. Someone that can do something for you and then taking advantage of their imposed guilt in order to get something for yourself. That's all I've heard so far.
And celebrate the little wins.
Like what?
We deserve this.
Deserve what?
And there's more where this came from.
What is this?
Thank you.
What
is that? What the fuck is that?
I mean, it would have been better if that had said, what the fuck is this? But same difference. What are you talking about? Okay, am I off base here? We went through 14 minutes of this. And I don't even know what this is. Deserve what? I mean, okay. Let me just imagine something for a moment, given her initial rhetoric. If every white woman spent the first part of their day writing down all of their privileges, all of their powers, whatever those constituted, right? And at the very end said, I deserve this. Well, then how does that solve your initial complaint? Right? There's nothing to apologize for. There's nothing to credit anybody else with. There's nothing to say, this is not guaranteed in life and I earned this and I'm grateful for it. And I know the roof can fall in at any time, so make the most of it. I'm confused. I am very confused. But what I'm not confused about is the bingo card. So let's bring up the bingo card and we'll go over that one more time. And then after that, I will take on any arguments for squares yet to be circled. Okay, here's where we are. Does that line up all right in the window? Yes, it does. Okay, so let's go over it one more time here. Weightless example. The absence of examples. The abstracts had no weight because she did not back them up with anything tangible. There was nothing there. Access. Here's the steps you can take to make a better life for yourself or a better inclusive, and then gave us nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anecdote that probably never happened. The only two anecdotes that come to mind are her conversation with her sister and her back and forth with her publisher friend. And given how self-serving they were, I can believe that they happened. They didn't. None of them sounded out of bounds for, the atmosphere and the content of the presentation. So I don't have any doubt that those happened. Okay, self-vilification or wretchedness. I mean, the closest you could come to, and I'm hesitant to give it that much credit, is her stated comparison between Dana and better Dana, as though her previous Dana was some drastic shift from one to the other. But that's the only thing I can think of in the presentation that might qualify, but that's a stretch. Feminism. She talked a lot about women, but I don't know if that alone qualifies as, in the aggregate, as being a feminist perspective, because she kind of dropped that as soon as she hit her 4 A's. It didn't come down to, this is what women have to do against the patriarchy, or women need to stand in solidarity, etc. I didn't hear anything like that. So aside from talking about women at a couple of points, I don't know that counts. I'm willing to accept an argument elsewise, but I don't think so. Sales pitch for product or service. A step guide thing without talking about a book or a specific. I don't know that that's a sales pitch for a product or service. She didn't mention an organization. She didn't showcase a book she's writing. I'm going to be a little bit more stringent on this. Just pitching an idea, a way of thinking about something is not, I don't think, necessarily qualifies as a product or service. And she didn't say, like, as a consultant to XYZ PDQ. If she'd said something like that, then maybe, but she didn't. So I'm not sure on that one. Patriarchy, no. Wage gap, no, not really. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Okay, so TAS. Does that count as a buzzword or buzz phrase? The 4 A's. You know what? I'm willing to extend to that. I mean, she's trying to pitch a new process or something she came up with, something I like to call the 4 A. Yeah, okay. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Let's see. Marginalization. I don't think she ever used the words, but it was decidedly implied by, I'm a black woman with a voice, as though she were some magical creature or something. So, yeah, I'll take that one. Contradicts own point or argument. Yes. Did we not see? Oh, you have to avoid performative transactional relationships. What can you do for me? Yeah, I think that contradicts one's own point and argument.
Bingo.
What?
Of course!
We have our first bingo. Might not be the last one. Systemic institutional. Okay, now, this is a bingo square, so the bar is higher. Did she say the words? I do not believe she did. I'm willing to be corrected on that if I missed it in the cacophony of other things going on. But in the absence of an actual quote, is there enough within the presentation to justify an aggregation to those two concepts? Or one of those two concepts? I'm going to have to leave that to somebody to tell me in the chat. I'm going to leave that to an argument. I can't make that call on my own because that's iffy, I think. Maybe. I could maybe see it. You could say, oh, society is a system. Well, maybe. I want a better argument than that. I want a better argument than just going for synonyms. White supremacy. I mean, white privilege. She was a unique individual because she was a black woman with a voice. Yeah. I think I'm in safe territory with that one. I think I am. And consequently,
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Right?
Yeah!
second bingo. And lastly, make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason. I'm still stuck on the whole mystery readers. I know that's a tiny little thing, but she just threw that out there. And I was like, what? What mystery readers? What is that? Came out of nowhere and had nothing to do with anything. And she never came back to it. And I have no idea what that was for. I can't think of a better example of a non sequitur than the sudden, invoking mystery readers as though that was significant in some way when it wasn't ever. So, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to do that one. Okay, so there's where we are. There's where we are at. If I can find my words, I am ready to take arguments for squares yet to be circled. If you have an argument for a square to be circled, please be sure to tag me in your comment so it'll be clearer for me. I will scroll up a bit and see what I can find just prior. Tier Alexander, pardon me. Scribelight, we blacks are magical. Someone can perform a level of mental gymnastics that would rival the gods of old. This is all, no, I credit her with this. She is responsible for her own staged universe there. It's just, like, what? I mean, I really thought that we were going to get some examples, even if they were ridiculous, given how she proceeded. But I mean, my favorite part was the whole transactional relationship thing. That was, whoa, talk about lack of self-awareness. Let's see. Another one from Tier. Scribelight. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was a double there. Or did I click on the same thing twice? Apologies. Mr. E readers. Oh, maybe. I see a Russian bot there. Bridget. So how do I use my righteousness? Yes, our new favorite buzz phrase. And Scribe, she started the talk with talking about the whole 2020 protests and the corporate institutional kerfuffle that followed. Oh. Huh. That's okay. Someone else expand on that. I'm almost there. But this is a bingo square. I just want to make sure. Does that qualify as systemic institutional? I mean, I guess it does. Just give me a little bit more. Either Bridget, or somebody else. Expand on that a little bit. Just for my own edification and everybody else's. You know, this is how we learn. This is how we come up with new ideas. G. Milko, she implied it company virtue signal letters. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm getting there. I might be milking you guys for some more ideas. I like the back and forth. Let's see. Gen T Maxi. Yay! I have not yet missed it. Well, I don't know. How good is your aim? But I really need to get like a rim shot thing to play when I make a bad joke, or when the speaker makes a bad joke, or when one of you makes a bad joke. I have one somewhere. Used to have it. Anyway, I'll try to work on that. And Peter Silacades 313 says, Jen! It's truly outrageous. Truly outrageous. Whoa, Jen! Lexi Mads, Birgit has it because of the equity and inclusion companies we're now pledging to. We all know that means they feel there was a problem in the institution before. Okay. Very good. Yes, this is an institutional problem. This is something that we have to work to change. Here's the steps we're going to take as a company. Okay. All right. So Bridget, along with Lexi Mad's enhancement, brings us one more.
Oh, won't somebody please?
Bingo. B-I-N-G-O.
Okay!
Right?
And actually, I believe that also gives us another one as well.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Right?
Yeah!
So we got 2 across the bottom, 1 down the middle, and 1 diagonally. We can count, can't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 bingos! Quadruple bingo. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess if any talk was to have one, we've achieved something. We deserve this. Any other arguments for squares to be circled? I'll give it another couple of minutes here, and then we will wrap up. Just a programming note, as I wait for any more input. On Sunday, with the Sunday stream, currently scheduled, and hopefully everything works out, currently scheduled, I will have, as far as I can recall, my very first co-pilot for a Sunday stream. Chaos Eve will be joining me Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Sunday stream on a subject I haven't even selected yet, because I usually do that at effectively the last minute on a Saturday. Oh, and now StreamYard is telling me I'm having connection issues. Was I roboting there? Uh-oh. Well, thankfully we're near the end of the show. Thank you, Keeverdam. Circle the whole card. Oh, yes. Okay, I will. I was waiting to get any more input and stuff. Texas Attorney General Secret Agent. On all that talking, she didn't spew an anecdote that probably didn't happen. Nothing about the stories that she told between her sister and the friend, podcast friend. None of that sounded like perfectly crafted or, too convenient to support her argument kind of thing. I can believe they happened. Or I should say, I wasn't given anything to doubt that they happened. Let's put it that way. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Bridget again, self-wretchedness when she discussed the chip on her shoulder. That's usually a signal of some form of wretchedness. I mean, was it? But here's the thing. I have to ask this question, because was that concession to the chip on her shoulder a authentic concession, or was it a performative one? You see, unfortunately, our speaker has had that, she's put that level of assessment into my mind now about the things I hear from people. So was that genuine or was that performative? I guess the other thing is, does the self-vilification have to be honest? That's a big question. That's a big question. Does the self-vilification have to be an honest one? It's not part of the square, but it is a square for a bingo. All right, so I'm going to leave this to you guys for this last one. Okay. Does her concession, such as it is, of the chip on her shoulder and that it went crashing down, right? Does that qualify in your mind as a self-vilification and or confession of wretchedness? Okay. If you think it does, all things considered, that's as much as I'll say elsewise, put a 1 in the chat. If you do not think it rises to the bar we have in the sacred bingo card for this square, a bingo square, put a 2. So if you agree, 1. If you disagree, 2. And only vote once. And let's see, got a 1. Uh-oh. Let's see, opinion of herself is greater than self-vilification. That's also true. 1-1. Mr. E, I don't honestly think that matters. Self-vilification is even worse when it is performative, meaning she wanted to be a wretched. Okay, well, you know what? I will concede to all of your input. I have no ability to resist. the wisdom of my audience. Actually, that's not true, but I'm trying to butter you up, because we deserve this. And I'm wondering, what can you do for me?
Bingo.
What?
Of course!
Well, you can lead me on to another bingo. That's what you can do. And with that, everyone, I'm going to call it there. 5 bingos. A quintuplet bingo. And because I don't want to upset Kiever Dam, and because I do listen, and I am aware, there is also that as well. It is a WTF for all of the this and that and other thing that was never explained or given any substance to. So there you are, everyone. We have 5 bingos and a WTF. What more could you ask for on a Thursday night? Probably a lot. But whatever you ask for, just remember, you deserve it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. You guys are, quite honestly, the greatest audience anyone could ask for. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things. Even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very, very little to do. Everyone who donated, thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. Oh, something I always, or seemingly always, forget to say. If you happen to share out the link to my shows, my content, whatever, on Twitter specifically, please be sure to tag me in your tweet somewhere so that I know that you did so I can thank you directly, because I really do appreciate it. And I would also encourage everybody to do the same for any other content creator you happen to appreciate. I do it for as often as I can for those that I like the stuff that they make. And oftentimes I get feedback from them, and it's great. It's sort of like, it's very sort of fanboy-ish to have someone that you appreciate their work saying, hey, thank you for doing that, or acknowledging that in some way. It's great. So if you do that, please do so. If you do that, please do so. If you're not already doing that, please do so. And I like thanking you guys for that. So with that, everyone, thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a good rest of your week. I hope you all have a good weekend. I hope to see you Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Sunday stream, where scheduled Chaos Eve will join me for some subject of real worth and value. That is not a guarantee, so you can't take me to court for that. And before I miss it, Mike R. with the bye-bye Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox.
Wow-wee. Wow-wow.
Yes, the Scottish Dogcat Fox says, well-wee, wow-wow. Everyone, I hope you are all safe and well. If you are not well, please get well soon, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.